Hi everyone, welcome back for another process video. On the screen there, what that was a Scrappers Challenge, and basically it was a sketch that they gave everybody at the crop that I went to, or anybody who wanted to join in. And we all basically did our own take on the sketch, and then everybody voted for their favorite one. So I had forgotten about this layout. I'm actually going to end up doing a couple more with the Kitten Schmitten collection. I thought that the other one was the last one, but so back to the Kitten Schmitten collection, and I'm just laying out my photos here. I had more photos than the sketch called for, so I'm just trying to figure out which photos I want to go on this layout. And the sketch had called for a 4x6 down here in this spot, but because I had some extra photos, I went ahead and did 2 3x4 photos instead. And then I'm also going to cut down a couple other photos to even smaller, I think like maybe 2x2, but I don't think they both end up on the layout. I think just one of them makes it on the layout. You can see me doing that right here, so I'm just adding another photo. So I really liked this sketch. There was basically in the background of the sketch was a lot of basically pattern paper strips, and I really liked that. And I'm going to set up all my pattern paper strips here. Oh, and just a little tip, if you're working on a double page layout and you want the pages to stay together, I just took some washi tape and glued them together there, and that made working on this double page layout so much easier. So that's just a tip if you're working on 2 pages and want them to not move around. So anyways, I'm going to cut down a lot of these strips of pattern paper. I basically are down to just scraps with this paper, so this was like a great way to use the strips up. And I'm going to lay them all out, and then I'm going to cut them down each. You'll see me do that in just a minute though, but I really like how the background turns out, but the only bad thing is that most of it gets covered up with the photos in the end. So you will see what I mean by that at the end. But so I'm kind of bummed about that because I really like how all the strips look on the page, but it's okay. It still turns out to be a pretty cute layout. I think so anyway. So I thought about using that yellow one, but changed my mind. So I did have a large strip of this pattern paper with the yarn all over it, and so I'm going to trim that down. This is one of my bigger scraps that I had left. I'm going to trim this down. I don't know the size, maybe 3 inches. Looks like that's about 3 inches. So, and then I'm just going to trim a little off the edges because I didn't want them to reach the edges on both sides. So I'm going to tuck that behind, and that is pretty much how the pattern paper strips are going to go. So I'm just moving them out of my way, and then I'm going to use my black close to my heart ink, and I'm going to ink 3 edges of each pattern paper, and then I'm going to use my T-square ruler since I want them to be nice and straight, and I'm just gluing them down so that they meet in the middle, as you can see me doing there. And I'm going to glue this side so it meets in the middle also, and just erasing a little bit of the extra ink, black ink that got on the paper. Not sure exactly how it got on the paper, but I worked pretty quickly, so I probably just didn't pay attention. So I'm just figuring out where I want those to go, and then I just use my fingernail and make a little mark in the pattern paper when I want to cut something. And so I knew I wanted to cut that down in the middle, so I just trimmed it, and now I'm inking 3 sides of that pattern paper, and I'm going to glue it down. And then I'm going to just check to make sure that it's straight, and I'm going to glue the other side on. And I just overlapped these 2 strips just a tiny bit so that it would just add a little bit of interest. Now I'm going to do the blue one, so I'm going to ink 3 sides of the blue pattern paper. And again, if I didn't say, this is Doodlebug Kitten Schmitten collection, and I am doing another layout about our little baby creeper. I'm not crazy about the title that I end up making this layout, but this was kind of a timed challenge. We only had until 10 o'clock to turn it in, and so I came down to the wire and I didn't even realize it. So just getting the blue pattern paper strip glued down, making sure it's straight. And then I'm going to glue down the pink or the black one. I can't remember which one I do first. At first I thought maybe I wanted the black one tucked under the blue one, but the blue one was really glued down. I thought, oh, I'm not even going to worry about it. So I'm going to figure out where I want to cut that one. And I'm just going to trim it down. So and then I'm going to ink 3 of the edges on that strip. Excuse me. Just make sure it's straight, and then I'm going to glue it down. And you can see I just love the way these layers are coming together. I think that I'm actually going to do this sketch again. I saw a lot of people who really followed this sketch really closely, and I really like how they turned out. So I might do this sketch again and follow it really closely. Usually when I do a sketch, I have a tendency to do my own thing, and I just draw some inspiration from it, and then I go from there, and it usually doesn't look a whole lot like the sketch, but every once in a while I really like to follow them really closely, and I think this is one of the ones I might do again and follow really closely. So here I'm taking a couple of the border sticker strips, and I'm just going to add, I didn't want those to go all the way to the edge, which was good because I only had one of each strip. So I'm just trimming them down a little bit so that they only span a little ways and don't go all the way to the edges, as you can see there. And I really like how that looks. It was a good way to get more of those border strips used up. You can see on that sticker sheet that I'm really getting a lot of these stickers used up. So I think I've shown this trick before, but in case you haven't seen it, if you have sticker, like these border sticker strips with the swirlies that have a lot of the inside of the circles still stuck inside, you can just flip your sticker sheet over and very gently place the sticker on the backing of this sheet, and the middle of those stickers will stick to the backing of the sheet, but your sticker, you can just gently pull it back up. So like if you have the middle of the letter A stuck inside your alphabet sticker and you want to get that center piece out and you don't want to have them all over your fingers, you can just put it on the back of your sticker sheet. It doesn't work for all companies, I don't think, but it does work for Doodlebug especially, but just a little trick for you. So here I put my photos back on the layout, and you can see that most of those really pretty layers got covered up. So I decided to trim down some of my photos just to try to help show more of the background stickers. And then there was that awkward space between this, on the left-hand page, between that far left photo, okay, not the far left photo, but the one on the bottom, and the photos on the right-hand side. And I didn't like that. So I'm cutting out this 4x4 card that says, "You're perfect." And I thought maybe that would go there, but again, it just starts to cover up more of the pattern paper strips. And so I took all my photos off, and I'm like, I don't like that because like I said, it just covered up so much of the border. So I wanted to play around to see if I could get it, change it up just a little bit and try to get more of the strips to show, but really they don't. But it's okay. I do like the layout in the end. So I'm placing them back on, and then I thought maybe I'll put this 4x4 photo on this side in that space instead, and that will show some of the border strips on the right hand side. So then I still played around with that square a couple more times, but it's not going to make it on the layout. And then I am going to take this photo here that I'm playing around with, the 4x4 on the right page, and I'm going to trim it down. I believe I trim it to 3x4, and that really helps. It does help add some of the, you can see a little bit more of the border pattern paper strips in the background. I will do that in a few minutes. So then there was this sticker that said "Check me out" that I tried using on the other layout, and I really like it. I thought it would be a good title or really good phrase for this layout, since it's just a bunch of photos of our kitten again, and no real, no real theme to this page other than just photos of the kitten. But I didn't think I could get to use it, but you will see that I do end up using it in a little while. And then there were these brown, like Scrabble tile alphabet stickers that spell out kitty. And I thought, the only thing, I thought they were a little bit weird and hard to use because they're such a brown color, and all the other colors in this pattern paper collection were so bright. So I tried using them, but they just weren't going to work on this layout. So I went back to, I decided to go ahead and glue my photos down because I knew that basically where I wanted those to go. And I don't like to go too far without gluing stuff down. I figured that's how I work. I like to start gluing things down. So this might be where I decide to cut down that photo. First, I'm going to glue down the photos on the bottom. Oops, sorry, my computer's doing something. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these photos down along the bottom. And here is where I'm going to trim this photo to 3x4 so you can see. And it fits perfectly on that border strip. It's almost like it gives a little bit of a frame to that picture, so you can see there. So I like how that looks. You can see some of the strips. You don't get to see as many as I would like, but that's okay. So here I was working on my title, and I had these black letter thickers with me at the crop. I really wanted to say my baby kitten or kitty or something, but I had no T's. And so I just gave up and I put my baby. And looking at it now, I wish I would have thought of fur baby that night, but oh well, it still works because I would call him my baby all the time. So I went ahead and I took that fish die cut that's on the right page and I popped it up with some foam tape. And I added some foam tape to that black or dark gray kitten that you can see on the layout. It's not glued down yet though. It's going to move over just slightly. I played around with this photo tab. I really wanted to use it, but it just didn't fit anywhere, so I put it back on the strip. So here I decided, I'm back to that check me out sticker. So I decided that I wanted to cut the frame out because the frame was what was throwing me off. So I'm going to play around with, excuse me, where I want it to go. And then I decide, excuse me, trying to drink some coffee, get my voice back on track. But I put that bird die cut up there, and I like the bird. It looks like he's looking at the photo. And I'm just going to play around with the die cuts a little bit and find some that I like. So I'm trying to play around. I thought maybe using this little gray kitten, green kitten. I don't believe he makes it on the layout, but I tried to use him up. And just going through more of my die cuts. You're going to see me digging around and playing around with my die cuts. I put this milk bottle here, and later on I take it back off, and I wish now that I hadn't because it actually looks really cute snugged behind there. I think the reason that I took it off was because I found this can of cat food, and this cat, I was so excited when I found this can of cat food because this little kitten would not eat anything except canned cat food. He refused. He wouldn't even eat cat treats. It was just, I've never had a cat refuse cat treats before, so I thought the can of cat food would be really cute, and I thought I took it out, I think I took the bottle of milk out because I have the can of cat food, but usually that kind of thing doesn't bother me, so I don't know why I took it out. But I added some foam tape to that little mouse that's up by the title, My Baby, and that is going to go there. And then I played around a little bit with that dark gray kitty and the can of cat food, and they are basically going to go along the edge there on the left. I have glued down the birdie in that area above the photo on the right, and I'm just gluing things down. I'm going to get that check me out sticker, and I'm going to glue it down here on the very far right next to the orange kitty and the fish. And then I had this other little mouse, and I put him down on the very far bottom right of the page, and I just thought that was kind of cute, like he was just coming along. So I don't really have a triangle or anything of embellishments or clusters. I just kept on adding until I liked the way that it looked. And I really do like the way it turned out. The only thing I'm not 100% crazy about is the space between the cat and the can of cat food and the photos. Throws me off just a little bit, but it's okay. I like it anyway. So here are the epoxy enamel stickers, and I'm just playing around with those and trying to add a few more of those up. at this point in this collection, I had a lot of the die cuts left and a lot of one of the sticker sheets left, but not a lot of this sticker sheet you see me using here, which makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm using it up. So now I'm just looking around for any more stickers that I can get on the layout. A few word stickers. So I always like to add word stickers around. I'm a fan of word stickers. Sometimes they're really, I don't know, they just add a little something extra to your clusters. So I like those quite a bit. And here's the other sticker sheet that I haven't used. I guess I've used more than I thought, but there's still quite a few on there. But like I said, our new kittens now are black and orange, and so there's a lot of black and orange cat stickers, so I will definitely get those used up. I just need to get some more of the paper. So I'm just playing around a little more, just adding little hearts and little things, anything I can find that will fit here and there. I added some black paw prints on the right page, as you can see above that one photo. And a couple more. I added a little heart down by the mouse on the very right. And now I believe I am putting down, these look like some more of those little enamel heart stickers from that one sheet. There's not a lot. I've definitely used up a lot of this sheet. So then I had this cut apart. This used to be a 12 by 12 cut apart sheet, and it had this cut apart piece that said time for a cat nap, and I thought that would be pretty perfect since this cat's pretty much sleeping in all of these photos. But I just didn't I thought it would look good because it was kind of a strip of pattern paper too, but it doesn't end up making it on the layout. So now I am going to add a few of their enamel dots, and they're not really enamel dots. They're more of like, they're the same thing as enamel dots, but they've got a matte texture, almost like they were flocked or something with felt or something. I don't know. They're soft. So I'm going to add 3 of those around in 3 different clusters, and I don't know if it was the stickers or just how many times I played around with them, but they were not sticking to the paper very well. So you're going to see me here take my glue dots, and I love glue dots. If you don't use glue dots, you should definitely give them a try. They are perfect for little embellishments like this that normally would be kind of hard to get glue. You could use wet glue for these, totally fine, but glue dots are just so simple and easy. And my glue dots usually go quite a long ways, so they last quite a while for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce those down with a glue dot behind each one of those. And this is pretty much how the layout's going to go, but I wanted to add a little bit more interest. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut down these blue pattern papers, or excuse me, blue cardstocks, to give a border around my entire layout. So what I'm going to do is I take the washi tape off because now I'm going to do it separately, and I'm getting out this trimmer again, and I'm going to trim off a little tiny bit from 3 of the sides. I'm not trimming it off the middle, obviously, because there's really nowhere for me to trim it off, but the other 3 sides of the layout, and here I have to move a couple things so I can trim this edge, which doesn't bother me at all, because I'm just going to glue them right back on. So now I'm going to trim off 3 sides of the left page, and here you're going to see me. I have to pull up the cat and the can of cat food and those enamel dots that I just got glued down with glue dots. I have to pull all of those up, but it really is worth it in the end. You will see in the final video what it looks like with the full blue border around both the pages. So I'm just as gently as I can pulling that up without trying to rip it too much. So they actually came up easier than I thought they would, so that made me happy. And then just get that edge trimmed off. And I don't know how much I'm trimming off, I'm sorry. It's usually like 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch that I'm trimming off. So here with this cardstock, because it's such a pretty color and I don't want to waste the entire page on just backing these layouts, I am gutting out the middle. And when you do that, when you gut it out and just have the 3 sides, it's really hard to line it up. So here's what I did at the crop. And I've never thought about doing this before, but it was actually pretty clever. give myself credit for this one because this worked out really well. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit, and they're double-sided, so I wanted to make sure I got the right side for both. A tiny bit of removable adhesive, and then I'm going to glue this to my background craft mat so I can make sure it's straight. And then I'm adding my scrappy tape because this stuff makes backing your layouts so much easier than using ATG, because you can pull off each edge at a time that you want to pull off, and it makes so you can get, so you have a little bit more leeway in getting your layout straight. So I'm going to pull off the backing on the bottom one, and then I'm going to line up my layout where I want it to go, and then I'm going to tear off the backing of the other two, and it's going to be nice and straight on there. So that's just a little tip if you want to gut your cardstock and still use it as a border around your layouts. And then here I'm just adding the stickers back on that were there before. So yeah, you won't see me doing the left hand side of the page, but you will see a final photo of the entire layout in the very end. So, and then I just flipped it over, and I'm going to cover up my adhesive that I used to glue the paper, the blue paper down with some washi tape. This is just washi tape that I have in my bag to use as, like, you know, Scotch tape when I'm at a crop. So this is the layout. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a great day, and I'll see you next time.